This is Rosewood 59 here, woodworking. Basically going to show you how to make the NFL Buffalo clock. And I did these both for gifts. I did not sell them or anything like that because I know it's owned and copyright to the NFL. So I just made these as gifts for somebody. And a horse clock. That I did, and I'll show you just little steps on how I did it, the process, and what I all did to make these two clocks. So hope you enjoy the video. Okay, today I'm going to show you how to make these two clocks that I'm working on today. So I'm going to show you what they look like. You saw before what they look like, and it's going to show you the steps and processes what I did to get there. Basically, the first step, kind of what I did, is found images that I wanted to do. This is from the NFL Buffalo Bills symbol I'm making for somebody, and just a horse clock that I'm going to be making. They're both going to be actual clocks, but a horse and a Buffalo NFL one that I'm doing. So basically what I did is I went on the internet, found these symbols that I wanted, especially the horse. It took me a little while just to get the right outline shape. And the two programs that I used, basically I'm a crafty person, so I got a machine. It's called the Cricut. And the Cricut machine basically is kind of like a CNC for woodworkers, but it's more crafty, so it cuts out just paper, poster board, so on, for doing cards and whatnot. I use it for woodworking, for shapes and whatnot, for those shapes that are just hard to trace or sometimes in curves to get around. So basically, I found my image. I used a Cricut machine and a program called Make the Cut, which basically is a program that you can take JPEG pictures, PDF file pictures, and you just want to cut out those images. And I put in the program, and it allows me to layer it on. So if I didn't want to, basically for the Buffalo Bills, I didn't want to have all the extra cutouts right now because I'm not at that stage yet. I just wanted to outline. So it basically cut out the outline for me. And the mat size that it comes with is a 12 inches by 12 inches. So it's quite big enough square. You can get longer mats, but right now I don't have any of that. So I just got the 12 by 12 mat. So that's basically what I did. I got my shape in it cut out for me. And I just basically leftover construction lumber here. I just put through the planers to get a little bit nice and smooth, just so I could see if there was any further cracks or anything like that hidden. Happened to be one here, so I know I didn't want that part of that, so able to put my image down. So basically what I did, just ran it through the planer, and I just took my outline images and just kind of outline them. I don't know if you guys can see them. I'll spray it up a little closer here if you can see. Outline the horse here and outline the Buffalo Bills here. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take the bandsaw and just cut out the shape as close as possible as I can. I won't be able to get in some of the tighter corners around the sander or anything like that. It's kind of all handwork. So I'm going to try my best to take my time with the bandsaw, go nicely and neatly around as I can, and I'll show you it when I'm done. Back from the bandsaw now. So basically with the bandsaw, because just to make a key point out too, make sure you kind of got a little thinner blade. If you've got tight radiuses like I do in there, if not, you just make a little bit of relief cuts. And so this is basically the horse one, how it turned out, and the Buffalo Bills. It turned out really well. Obviously I got quite a bit. Can move up here so you guys can kind of see them here. So this one turned out so far, and then here's this one here. Turned out really well. Just some in tight corners and stuff, just a little bit of sanding I gotta do just on the bottom and the back. And next step will be basically kind of figuring out where do we want the clock. That's kind of the big next step to drilling our hole in the back. So that'll be the next step. So basically, on the next step, I will show you where to place your clock and what size of hole you need to drill, and we'll do that next. Okay, I'm back. So basically after bandsaw I showed you guys, and I just went around nicely and just kind of sand more the edges. I realized I was going to sand the top, and I figured there's really no point because I got to drill my big hole up the back to be able to fit your clock in. So I'm going to do that afterwards. So basically my next step here that I have is I made one of these, and basically what it is just your 12 o'clock, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. It's about 4 inches in diameter. I'm not sure what it is, how many ticks. You just divided it basically by 12, so you get evenly ticks all the way around. And the reason why that is that way you kind of can figure out what size and how big, for instance, how big and where you want your clock. So basically what I did for here was I kind of just figured out, oh, where do I kind of want it? I don't really want it covering in the face of the horse. I want to display the shape and the object, what it is. So I kind of put it down here. Once I have exactly where I want it, just over here, it's just a self-centering spring-loaded punch. It's just basically this. And all it is just has a spring and it centers it. It's mostly used for when you have hinges or whatnot. Just one I had just lying around basically. And all you do is just line it up where your original hole is. I can find mine here. And you just basically push down, all the way down, and it just basically indents a hole. So that my next step would be taking my drill and a 1/16 drill bit and just drilling all the way through. The reason why I want to drill all the way through is so on the back of my piece, I'll know exactly on my drill press where to put my 3-inch bit here. Because I want to place my bit right in the middle so that when I'm drilling exactly where I want it. So that's basically going to be my next step is on the drill press. For my 3-inch bit there, I'm going to be drilling. And for the bulls, or buffalo I guess I should say, buffalo I did exactly the same thing. I can't really display too much over because my numbers aren't going to really fit in everywhere. So I kind of did it more a little bit to the face, but you can display the object a little bit more. It's not as detailed because it's a sport object, or a horse and the eyes and stuff. You've got a little bit more detail in the face and the nose. So that's basically going to be my next step. Is I've already positioned my holes where I would like them to be. So I'm just going to drill my 1/16 drill bit all the way through, and then I'm going to position it, my Forstner bit, on the drill press. Going to have it locked in, and I'm basically going to find my center on that other back side of my 1/16, and I'm going to drill right through. And you'll probably ask, how far do you go? I usually, I just kind of hold it up to here to figure out where I've kind of stopped and figure out a little bit. I believe this one here that I have is 5/8. So I basically just want to go, I don't know if you can see here, if I can bring it up here close. You basically just want to get through maybe right about here, so just a little bit. So when you basically your nut goes on top to lock it in place, you just want it basically about that size, just a little bit so it goes through. So that's pretty much what I'll be drilling, is just enough so it peeks through the top just a little bit. And if you're asking why you don't drill a bigger hole, the reason why I don't drill a bigger hole the same diameter shape yet to it is because I want to make sure I've got the depth correct. And basically, I don't know if you can see, but this Forstner bit only has a tiny, tiny, tiny little, basically a little pin, well not pin, but it's very just an edge that's pointy sharp. Basically, it's just a little bit. So if I drill a bigger hole, it's going to wobble and it's not going to be centered exactly where I want it. So that's why 1/16 is okay, because it's just a little indentation, so when I'm drilling it's not going to affect it. So it's kind of like you kind of have to eyeball it. I've already done a couple of these, so I kind of know what size I'm looking for. But like I say, what I do is once I find it on one, if I'm making two, I stop it on my bench, and or not bench, but I stop it on my drill press, tighten it up if it's tighten it up on that little gauge on your drill press so that it stops basically, and you can figure out. But like I said, if you just kind of eyeball it like this, I've had no trouble. Worst case scenario, I mean, you can take it back to the drill press and do a little bit. If it's a little bit off on the back by then, it's okay. I've had to do that before, so it really wasn't an issue. So I'll show you the next step when I've got my hole all done at the back, and then I'll show you how to figure out your diameter, what size to drill for your car.